Hello everyone. Today we discuss about air pollution. Pollution is introduction of any type of contaminant into the environment. Pollution is mostly by human actions but can also be a result of natural disasters. Substances that cause pollution are called as pollutants. These can be substances such as chemicals or waste product that renders the air, soil, water or other natural resource contaminated or harmful. Air pollution is the accumulation of hazardous substances into the atmosphere that danger human life and other living matter. The WHO describes air pollution as presence of foreign particles, gases, etc. in the air that adversely affect living organisms, building, other structures, etc. It may result in reduced growth and yield in plants and various disorders in animals. Air pollution is mainly in the form of gaseous pollutants or particulate pollutants. Major sources of gaseous and particulate pollutants. There are two types of pollutants. First, stationary combustion sources such as industries, homes, hotels, bakeries, thermal plants and brick plants use fossil fuels that contributes gaseous and particulate pollutants in the air. Burning of fossil fuels led to forming smoke, soot, fly ash and dust in the air. Mobile combustion sources are these pollutants from automobiles, aircrafts, locomotives, etc. And these include gaseous pollutants, particulate lead and aerosols. Gaseous pollutants that contain carbon monoxide 77.2%, nitrogen oxides 7.1% and hydrocarbons 13.7% and small amounts of sulfur dioxide, ammonia and lead. The major source of lead pollution is leaded petrol having lead. When absorbed in the body, lead inhibits hemoglobin formation. Aerosols are emitted into the air in the form of vapor or fine mist. Jet aeroplanes emit aerosols containing chlorofluorocarbons. The aerosols deplete ozone layer in the atmosphere. Now, industrial processes. Industrial processes include metallurgical processing, welding, grinding, synthesis of chemicals, petroleum refineries, fertilizer plants, paper and pulp factories. These processes release several particulate and gaseous pollutants into the air. Gaseous pollutants released from industrial processes include oxides of carbon, sulfur and nitrogen, fluorides and vapors of several compounds. Compounds containing chlorine and fluorine such as chlorofluoromethane, which are widely used as propellants for aerosols, cans and refrigerants. Particulate matter released from industries include metal dust, fly ash, soot, cotton dust and radioactive substances. A number of harmful trace metals such as antimony, lead, mercury, nickel, cadmium, chromium, etc. are present in the metal dust. A number of poisonous gases are also released accidentally from industries. Accidental release of phosgene and methyl isocyanate from Union Carbide factory in Bhopal on December 1984 killed more than thousands of persons and maimed several thousand persons. Tobacco smoke contains benzopyrene and a number of other hydrocarbons. It's a potent pollutant in cinema halls, auditorium, buses and trains. processing and burning of plastics produce polychlorinated biphenyls, PCBs. They enter the human body through food chain and damage the liver and impair vision. Pollens, spores and microbes present in the air cause allergies and other respiratory problems. A large number of gases and particulate pollutants are released during agricultural bombing, spraying of pesticides and weedicides. Now, primary air pollutants. Particulate matter, these can be from natural as well as anthropogenic sources. Natural sources include spores, pollen grains, dust, volcanic fumes, etc. Anthropogenic sources include soot, smoke, fly ash, dust from cotton mills, mining operations, flour mills, etc. Larger particles greater than 10 micrometer settle in a day. However, the smaller ones remain suspended for long periods depending upon the size of particles and conditions in the atmosphere. These are called suspended particulate matter or SPM. Gaseous pollutants. These are carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, nitrogen oxides, hydrogen sulfide, sulfur dioxide, hydrogen fluoride, hydrocarbons, industrial accidental release, aerosols and tobacco smoke. Oxides of nitrogen. These includes N2O, NO, NO2, N2O4 and N2O5. These are released by automobiles and chemical industries as waste gases and also by burning of materials. NO2 is also formed from the atmospheric nitrogen by lightning and natural ionizing radiation. Nitrogen oxides form about 10% of air pollutants. Carbon dioxide content of air has increased by 15% during the last 100 years. A jet plane in a single trip across the Atlantic uses 35 tons of oxygen and release 70 tons of carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide causes nausea and headache. As carbon dioxide accumulates in the air, it absorbs more and more infrared radiation. It may cause greenhouse effect, rising the atmospheric temperature. This causes melting of polar ice, rise in the level of oceans and flooding of coastal regions. Carbon monoxide, it's a very poisonous gas. It is produced by incomplete combustion of fuel in industries, motor vehicles, kitchens, smoking, etc. If inhaled, it combines with hemoglobin and reduces its oxygen carrying capacity. This leads to laziness, reduces vision and ultimately death. Oxides of sulfur. These are sulfur dioxides and sulfur trioxide. These are produced by the burning of coal and petroleum in industries, thermal power plants, automobiles, motor vehicles and during melting of metallic ores such as iron, lead, zinc, nickel, copper, etc. In air, sulfur dioxide and sulfur trioxide combine with water vapors to form sulfurous acid H2SO3 and sulfuric acid respectively. Fluorides, hydrogen fluoride and other volatile fluorides are hazardous pollutants even when present in concentration of 0.001 ppm by volume. Fluorides are liberated mainly from aluminum smelting, steel and phosphate fertilizer manufacturing industries. These are also released during burning of coal. Hydrogen sulfide, it's highly toxic and corrosive gas having a rotten egg odor. It's produced from natural resources such as swamps and bogs, as well as from human sources such as petroleum refining and metal smelting. Hydrocarbons and volatile organic carbons. These are organic compounds which are composed of carbon and hydrogen. Over 80% of hydrocarbons are emitted from natural resources. It's also formed by incomplete combustion of fuel in automobiles, homes, and by evaporation of organic solvents and bacterial decomposition of organic matter. Methane is the most abundant hydrocarbon, followed by ethane. Methane is emitted by paddy fields, cattle, and swamps. It's a greenhouse gas which is oxidized in the atmosphere to carbon dioxide. Now, tobacco smoke. Tobacco smoke contains 4 types of harmful chemicals. Carbon monoxide combines with hemoglobin and reduces oxygen carrying capacity of blood. Nitrogen oxides irritate the respiratory tract. Polycyclic hydrocarbons, 7 types of polycyclic hydrocarbons are found in tobacco smoke. Of them, benzopyrene is highly carcinogenic. Polonium is a radioactive chemical which is also carcinogenic. Tobacco smoke also harms non-smokers called passive smokers sharing the same place. Smoking increases the risk of lung diseases by 6 times, lung cancer by 10 times, and heart disease by 2 times. Smoking also causes tanning of teeth and fingers, smoke cough, male impotency, and birth of deformed children in smoking mothers. Secondary air pollutants. Photochemical smoke. It's formed photochemically from unsaturated hydrocarbons and nitrogen oxides. Both are released by automobile exhausts. The oxides of nitrogen in the presence of sunlight react with hydrocarbons to produce peroxyethyl nitrate or PAN, ozone, aldehydes, and other compounds. Secondary pollutants are formed under warm conditions in congested metropolitan cities and transport areas in the presence of intense solar radiation. Photochemical smog is often called brown air, where solar radiation is intense. In regions of lesser solar radiation, smog formation is incomplete and the air is called gray air. Peroxyacetyl nitrate. It's an organic nitrate that is harmful to human beings, animals, and plants. Its effects are: it causes eye irritation and respiratory diseases. Spongy parenchyma of young leaves is destroyed. Other leaves also show silvering, glazing, and necrosis. Due to the damage of chloroplasts, photosynthetic activity and growth are retarded. Cellular metabolism is affected due to interference with enzyme systems. Ozone. Presence of ozone is the stratosphere, that is upper layer of atmosphere, protects organisms, both plants and animals, from high energy UV rays. But the ozone formed in lower atmosphere by photochemical reactions is harmful in the following ways. In low concentrations, it causes chest pain, coughing, and eye irritation. High concentration of ozone is fatal to both animals and plants. In plants, it causes premature yellowing and fall of leaves. Ozone causes discoloring and disintegration of clothes. It hardens rubber goods such as tires, rubber sealing of windows and insulation of electric items. Aldehydes produce irritation in the respiratory and gastrointestinal tracts. Phenols damages spleen, kidneys, livers and lungs. Acid rain. It is precipitation or rainfall of acidic chemicals from atmosphere on the earth. There are two types of deposition, wet and dry deposition. Acidic water received through rain, fog and snow is called wet deposition. The wind-blown acidic gases and particles in the atmosphere which settle down on the ground are called dry deposition. About half of the acidity in the atmosphere is transferred to the earth through dry deposition. Dry deposition over trees and exposed surfaces is washed down by rainfall. Wet deposition is acidic water received in fog, snow and rain. Normally, rainwater is slightly acidic because of carbon dioxide that forms weak acid, pH ranges of 5.6 to 6.5 in rainwater. The pH of acid rain is less than 5 or even as low as 4. Oxides of nitrogen, volatile organic carbons and sulfur dioxide are produced during the combustion of coal in thermal power plants and industries and petroleum in automobiles. Lightning in sky also produces nitrogen oxides. Sulfur dioxides and nitrogen oxides are rapidly oxidized to sulfuric acid or nitric acid respectively, which are quickly washed down to the ground as acid rain. Control of air pollution. There are two measures, preventive measures and control of particulate matter. First, preventive measures. Selection of suitable fuel with low sulfur content should be used in industries. Reduction in emissions means modification processes and equipments to reduce emissions. Chimneys and smoke stacks very tall and placed at high level. Industries should be away from residential areas. Control of particulate matter. Arresters and scrubbers are devices used to remove particulate air pollutants. There are different types of arresters. The electrostatic precipitators are devices that remove more than 99% particulate matter from the exhaust of scrubbers, thermal power plants, smelters and other industries. Scrubbers are used to clean dust and gases in the air by passing it through a dry or wet packing material. The electrostatic precipitators works on the principle of electric charging of the dust particles and collecting them on a differently charged platform. It has electrode wires that are maintained at several thousand volts that produce a corona releasing electrodes. These electrodes attach to the dust particles, giving them a net negative charge. Collecting plates are grounded and attach or attract the charged dust particles. The velocity of air between the plates is kept low enough to allow the dust to fall. Wet scrubbers. In this, the exhaust is passed through a spray. Scrubbers are best suited for the removal of gaseous pollutants like sulfur dioxide. Thank you and have a nice day.